Through years and years of our lives, we all try to answer one question: who am I, really? And the answer never seems to be clear. Some days it feels like I know exactly who I am, but other days I'm lost. If you relate to the second state much more, often feeling wrong and disconnected from yourself, I understand you. I've spent the most of my life self-criticizing and looking for someone or something to finally fix me. I needed a fresh start all the time because I never felt like I was living the life I want to live. Yet I was so afraid of making mistakes, experiencing novelty, just so scared of trying to change something that new me was planned so many times, but never brought to reality. I was stuck in the cycle of both self-discovery and self-neglecting for a few years, until I finally realized one life-changing truth. I am not broken, and I don't need to fix myself. Being authentic is actually so simple. So, the biggest problem with being authentic comes from misunderstanding what does it actually mean. I mistook authenticity with perfection, and I was disappointed in myself for not being that best self all the time. I felt broken, and I was identifying with every mistake I made, or a bad mood I had, or a negative thought stuck in my head. And the first thing you need to realize is stop trying to fix yourself. You are okay just the way you are. Authentic self is not the idealized version of you, but all the parts of you, ones that you like and those you neglect. We are born authentic, but because of conditioning that we experience during the life, we start to build a shell of what will they think of me? They may judge me. I'd rather not do that. Trying to fit into societal norms or impress others, we eventually lose sense of our authenticity. And while being influenced by your surroundings is inevitable, you can decide to which extent it happens. Form your own life principles, opinions, green and red flags. If you don't have an opinion, you will be told one. If you don't have your own values, you will be told them. So at this point, it is about cutting all the distractions and self-reflecting more. Minimize the external noise, sit in silence and boredom, meditate, journal, ask yourself some questions, and see what comes up. And having your own strong opinions still involves listening to others' viewpoints. Just don't take them for your own the second you hear them. So the second lesson is, discovering your authenticity is not about adding things to you, but removing what stops you. Getting rid of everything that stops you from being just who your heart calls you to be. Freeing from the fear of judgment, rejection, failure, feeling not afraid to do anything, giving out freely, and being however different or weird is how authenticity feels to me. And if those fears appear, which is absolutely natural, not letting them stop you is also being authentic. I love to enjoy every single moment of my life and not second guessing it. Next time you feel caught up in your own limitations, do yourself a favor and stop resisting. Just relax. Stop resisting those positive and negative thoughts in your head, those different emotions, fears, big and small desires which I'm sure you have. Just let them flow and see what happens. It's overthinking and resistance that causes so much discomfort, but not the action itself. Doing something you didn't want to or were afraid can actually feel so liberating. You need to really get out of your head and disidentify from everything that's going on in here. Learn to observe and filter it. I am a huge advocate for a spiritual part of our lives, and I believe that we are not our mind. You are the soul, and mind is only an instrument. So it is in your best interest to use it to your advantage. Really start to trust your body and intuition more. They know much more than your mind does, and they never lie. Not only self-care like sport, routines, nutrition, and listening to yourself really helps here, but also entering high vibrational states. Love, gratitude, trust, and hope is where you want to find yourself more often. Life-changing practices for me are morning prayer and evening meditation. Early morning and late evening is when your subconscious is naturally open to receiving, and filling it with positive thoughts and energy at this time makes such a big difference in your way of feeling and being. Tap into creative activities which you really like, and a flow state will naturally come in. It will allow you to get to know a lot about yourself from the depths of your subconscious. Experiment with your routines. What works for you in a daily life and not for anyone else? Create a filter to process everything that you see and hear going on around you. See everything that is approaching you as a suggestion that you can decline. You always have that option of, no thanks, I'm not taking it in. And this is about creating boundaries with people, but ones I talk about here are special. We all have physical boundaries, so a stranger cannot just come and kiss you, and no one can hurt you. We have verbal boundaries, which are some inappropriate ways to call you or jokes to say about you. But what a lot of people miss out is energetic boundaries. Signs of poor energetic boundaries are: you often indulge into arguments. A rude taxi driver ruins your whole day, and you easily absorb other people's negativity. Please, 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 we gotta stop that. When you allow way too much energy from without that doesn't align to you, you dig your authenticity deep down. Feel your own energetic field, your aura. What color is it? What shape is it? What energies does it consist of? What energies are allowed there? It protects you from all the vibrations that are lower than yours. I love to perceive communication with the environment this way. I'm always being authentic, protected by my own energy, and I decide how much of it I'm willing to exchange with others. So how much of my energy I can give to someone and how much I'm willing to take from them. Last thing to say for authenticity and society: nobody gives a I'm gonna repeat it once again here because you really need to understand it. Nobody gives a about how you live your life. Years of your life pass by, you die, and nobody knows even 10% of your story, especially some small details that you care about so much. There is nothing more freeing than realizing this, I promise. So please, instead of trying to be the way you think others want you to be, just embrace all of the weirdest and woo-woo parts of you. Embrace your inner child and have fun sometimes. Nothing makes me feel happier than jumping in the puddles on a rainy day or loudly singing or screaming, just because this is how authenticity feels to me. Explore how it feels to be authentic for you and follow along. So the last part of the video, things to remember about authenticity. Throughout the video, I was talking that you're okay just the way you are and you don't need to change, which I've heard from many people so many times, and I disagreed. Does it mean no growth and no self-improvement? Absolutely not. There is a difference between your authentic self and your highest self. Your authentic self is about who you already are, your inherent traits and personality, and you need to embrace them to become your highest self, the version of yourself that you look up to. Maybe she's a person who speaks in public, builds her career, and travels all around the world. I was talking about how to become the highest version of yourself in this video, which you guys have really loved, so I highly recommend you to watch it after this one. But these two versions of you should coexist for balance, and you cannot become your highest self without being authentic. And none of the mistakes you make or experiences you have can take your authenticity away from you. Your authentic self equals you, and nobody can take away you from you. Authenticity is your freedom and power. I know that standing out of a crowd and being different may feel so uncomfortable, but if you find yourself in that situation, congratulations, you are on the right way. Your uniqueness is your biggest value that opens doors that are meant for you and not for others. Being authentic gives you a free will to decide how to live, while being average and trying to fit, you neither serve yourself nor make a contribution to the world. Those who are afraid to be authentic work for those who aren't, and those who aren't afraid to be authentic change the world.